Hey, I got an idea. How about we just go ahead and put a nice little bow on this 2021 season and talk about my 5 takeaways? And before I get started, you guys gonna have to forgive me. I'm battling through a bit of a sinus infection, so I know I sound terrible, but nothing's gonna stop me from getting these 5 off. So let's get to it. Now, where should we start? How about number one, Heartbreak Hotel, or This Place Hotel? It depends on who your favorite artist is. If you're an Elvis Presley guy, you'll go with the former. Jackson 5 guy like me, the latter. But to each his own. Now, I don't know how many of you guys were like me, but for this year, I wasn't sure what to expect. But just based on the level of talent, at least the top level of talent on both sides of the ball, and what we thought about Brandon Staley coming in and everything that we had heard from him, this team seemed like it would be no worse than at least somewhere around 500, but we know that's not really a thing anymore. There's no such thing as 8-8. So the 9-8 record to finish off the season kind of made sense. It was that 4-1 start though that tripped everyone up because we didn't really expect it. And when it happened, I think the assumption was that they would take the bull by the horn, especially since they had a significant lead on the Chiefs out the gate and they were having a hard time finding their footing. Just made sense to just go for it. See what you can pull off. Make a strong push that way when you get to the end of the season. And once the Chiefs eventually figure all their stuff out, which we knew that they would, it would be a very tightly contested battle for the division. And technically it kind of still was. But the Chargers made it way more difficult on themselves by not really making the necessary changes, specifically on the defensive side of the ball, to kind of keep the Chiefs at bay. You can say what you want about not doing things at the trade deadline and there not being very much activity, but be for real. When nothing happened, y'all were pissed. I mean, I know I was, but I can only speak for myself. Then losses to, the Vikings, the Texans, the Chiefs the second time around, and of course then the Raiders in the finale. Just dashed all our hopes and dreams, and you end up at the record that you initially thought you would be at, just not the way you thought you'd get there, and it feels way different, don't it? Dose. Simply entitled Hero. I mean, hell, what else can you call him? Is what he is. I'm not certain there's anything I can say about 10 that hasn't already been said time and time over. The kid is special, like in a generational type way. Did we see that coming out of Oregon? Hell no. But what we know is at this point, it's been 2 years, 2 offensive systems, 2 new head coaches, 2 new offensive coordinators, hell, 2 of everything. It's like Noah's Ark. It's literally probably one of the most impressive performances I've seen from a kid this early in his NFL career under the circumstances. The Chargers are in good hands. And this team goes as Justin Herbert does. What I would like to see moving forward, though, is a little bit more balance offensively. I'm an old school dude. I don't mind throwing the ball around the yard, but what I really, really love is a strong running game. If they can figure out a way to get a consistent RB2 that's more of a compliment to Eckler than like an Eckler-ish like running back in Justin Jackson, there's no telling how far this offense can go. If the defense just becomes middle of the pack and the offense improves even so slightly, I mean, they were top 5 in the NFL already. Hell, if they stay the same and they get a middle of the road defense, then that's a playoff team that can make a run. But I would love to see a very sound, significant running game to back 10 up. When it comes playoff time, that's going to be invaluable, especially if you got to go on the road, because did you see that game in Buffalo? That was ugly. And it wasn't really like the Patriots stood a chance anyway. Josh Allen was on another level that day. And the Patriots technically do have a strong running game, but it's the passing game that lacks. It would take a more balanced team to go up there and beat a squad like that in those conditions. So, guess we got to wait and see what this offseason brings, because I don't know if what's currently on the roster in Joshua Kelly and or Larry Roundtree are going to be the answer. For the 3-ski, I Can't Feel My Legs, which is actually one of my favorite songs by Don Toliver. You should give it a listen when you get a chance. And I guess I just gave him some free advertisement. Whatever. Yeah, I know this is going to sound super unrealistic. To be honest with you, I don't really care. As Chargers fans, I think we deserve to be able to go a season where we shouldn't have to consider purchasing a defibrillator and sitting it next to our TVs. Can we just have 1 year where we don't have to play like 70% tightly contested games? Like 2, 3, 4 nail biters? Cool. But man, going the majority of your season on pins and needles like that cannot be healthy. And I get it. It's the NFL. Even the worst teams have some of the world's most elite athletes on it. So it's an any given Sunday game, and you never know what you're going to get in those situations. So you kind of have to take your W's where you can get them. And even when they're hard fought and, you find yourself standing up off of your sofa, you're dripping sweat like you've been competing, you just have to appreciate it. It still doesn't mean that I don't want a season where we just blast the majority of the people we play. So here's to that. 2022 sounds like as good a year as any for me. What do you guys think? And now back to more realistic topics. We'll go with number 4 here as the one that got away. I think that's a Katy Perry song too. But anyway, Tom Telesco, you son of a... Man, could this team have used Adrian Phillips this year? Dog, think about what that would have done for Derwin. The man was asked to do a multitude of things on defense. Aside from being a play caller, I'm sure he had to know everyone's assignment, along with his, where he needed to be someone's help. And just in general, it affected his numbers overall. I mean, the fact that he didn't make an all-pro team is a travesty to me. But, I mean, again, I guess when you look at things from a statistical standpoint, he didn't have the same impact as maybe some other safeties. But again, when you're asked to do the job of 6 people, then, yeah, I could see why, some of your personal stats could take a hit. But imagine what an AP could have done. So much he would have taken off of Derwin's plate. And in the event that some of those guys in the secondary went down, which they did, AP could fill a few roles. I mean, you've got him as a dime linebacker, which would have come in handy. He could play in the slot, maybe take some snaps away from Chris Harris Jr., maybe some from Alohi Gilman. Maybe some of those guys don't really see the field because he's on the team, thus making the defense a bit better. And he's just thriving in New England on a more than manageable, reasonable contract. Still can't figure out for the life of me why that didn't work out in LA. But I digress. Yeah, number 5 will probably ruffle some feathers and, what does it matter? It's just my opinion, right? You don't have to agree with me. It's Power, which could be the Kanye song or the Stars series, whatever you relate to. Yo, man, y'all know I'm gonna keep it a hundo with y'all on this one for sure. And this could be applied to other years as well, but since this is my recap on 2021, I'm going to keep it streamlined and just to this. There were some very, very peculiar decisions made this year in regards to player personnel and playing time and guys seeming to get on the field more so because of their draft position potentially, as opposed to whether or not they actually deserve to be there over others. I don't know whose decision that is. I know whose it should be. But with that said, this is what my request is moving forward. 2022 and beyond. As long as Brandon Staley is the head coach of this team, if you're going to ask the man to prepare the meal, allow him to also shop for the groceries. And hey, if he's in there chefing that gumbo up and sticks his ladle in there, taste that thing and realize there's something missing, let that man go ahead and add some Tony Chachere's or pinch of salt or some Goya or whatever he feels is necessary to make that thing right. You stay out of it. It's his meal. Let him cook that thing up properly. I'm from Louisiana, man. That's a big freaking deal for us. You don't go in our pots while we're cooking. I mean, that's cause for a fist fight. Like some hands will get thrown behind that. It's really all I request at this point. The man has a very specific scheme that he wants to run. It's going to require certain types of players. And sometimes things need to be done on the fly. Hell, he did it with the Rams. When something didn't work, he made adjustments, whether it needed to be another player or not, did what he had to do, and it thrived. Let him do what he's already proven works. Otherwise, why the hell did you hire him? I mean, I could think of some reasons, but again, different topic for another day. That's it. You good folks have been more than gracious with your time, so I'll get you out of here on this. Got Senior Bowl stuff coming up, Combine, free agency, the draft. Your boy will be here through all of it to put 5 of them things down each and every time. So, by the way, in April, I'm planning on being out there in Vegas for that thing. So hopefully I can meet some of you guys. Come kick it with your boy. I'll be out there with a crew of fans from other teams, but don't worry about any of that. They're harmless. So till then, I'm gonna go take some Theraflu and pass out for the rest of the evening because I still feel like crap. Just probably like grade 1 crap. I was probably at like a 4 or 5 yesterday and the day before. So I'm getting there. Pray for you, boy. Catch y'all on the next one. I'm out.